The history of the Tooths organisation spans almost 150 years of trading. The Kent Brewery on Broadway, Sydney, first opened its gates for business on the 5th of October, 1835. These gates still bear the horse rampant insignia of Kent in England, which was the family home of the company's founder, John Tooth, a merchant. Together with Charles Newnham, a practical and experienced brewer, John Tooth founded a company which won ready popularity for its X, XX and 3X ales. The original Kent Brewery occupied some 4.5 acres and grew on the site as the business prospered. It was one of only 3 breweries which survived a disastrous depression between 1838 and 1843. Some years later, Tooth and Newnham retired and leased the very successful business to Robert and Edwin Tooth. An extensive fire seriously damaged the brewery in 1853, but the setback to the company was short-lived. In fact, in 1888, Tooth and Company became registered as Tooth and Company Limited, a public company with a capital equivalent to $1,800,000 in $2 shares. The last link between the company and the old days of family ownership was broken in 1916, when Mr. Arthur W. Tooth, who was head brewer for over a quarter of a century, resigned. In 1929, the company purchased Rescher's Brewery in Waterloo, Sydney. And has built a modern brewery at Lismore, New South Wales. The Toll Bar Inn, later known as the White Horse Inn at Newtown, was purchased by the Tooth family in 1878. Another early Tooth family hotel was the Robin Hood Hotel at Waverley. It was in these years, following the famous Rum Rebellion, that Australians really began the tradition of leisurely beer drinking. The number of licenses granted by the courts in the early 1900s mushroomed. In 1901, the Commonwealth Beer Excise Act came into force, placing a strain on all the breweries. In 1916, with war rife in Europe, 6 o'clock closing was introduced. Soldiers returning home could no longer discuss business, nor relax, as the crowded rush hour choked the bars. The Licenses Reduction Board decreased the number of licenses, as did the 1930s depression, and during the Second World War, bottled beer all but disappeared. After the war, following a referendum, the Liquor Amendment Act of 1945 confirmed the continuance of 6 o'clock closing. Restrictions on licensed clubs were abolished too, and the hotels lost market share to the clubs with comfortable surroundings and poker machines. Spirit merchants were quick to snap up packaged beer sales at the expense of the hotel bottle shop. Then came the motels. From 1955, the motels built up significant accommodation trade as Australians set out to explore in cars. There's been a concerted drive to improve the standard of the hotel. The image has become a place of community gathering in pleasant surroundings for food, wine and entertainment, particularly since the introduction of 10 o'clock closing in the early 1960s. Yes, we all like our beer, the traditional hotel product. What is beer? Beer is what has always been fermented, hop-flavored extract of malted barley. The barley corns are malted by allowing the grains to germinate under controlled conditions. The malted barley is transferred to a machine where it is milled. The crushed malt is mixed with pure water and heated in stages to convert the starch into fermentable sugars. A hop-flavored extract of malted barley called wort is produced by adding hops, which, when boiled, produce the characteristic bitter taste. The wort is then cooled, and a special strain of yeast is added. Through a process of fermentation, the yeast produces carbon dioxide gas and alcohol. After fermentation, the yeast is removed and we have beer, which is cold stored until properly matured. The beer is rigorously tested by quality control chemists and after filtering, flows on to be filled into bottles, cans and casks. How does the company go about marketing its products? Tooth's packaged beer products are Tooth KB Lager, Tooth LA, Tooth Sydney Draft, Resch's Pilsener, Resch's Premier, Resch's DA and Resch's Draft. Tooth's draft or bulk beers are Tooth New, Tooth Old, Resch's Draft, Tooth's Old Kent, Tooth LA and Resch's Pilsener. Marketing involves research to discover what the consumers want in the flavour of the product, in the image of the product, and of the hotel where they buy it. The purpose of subsequent sponsorship, advertising, point-of-sale display, services and hotel design is to convince the widest range possible of potential consumers that they will be satisfied when they buy Tooth's products. The end result? Profitable sales. A network for sales distribution is important, and the peak of Tooth Hotel ownership was reached during the Second World War. By 1950, Tooth still had 714 hotels. 681 of these were leased out, and 33 were managed by the company. The aim is to maintain across New South Wales a group of hotels of such size as to enable Tooth to respond to the changing leisure tastes of Australian men and women. Bar services have traditionally been the area of concentration, and the wide range of Tooth's and Resch's beers will continue to be available to quench the thirst of the public. With wines becoming popular, the range of beverages is also expanding. Bars have become far roomier, more tastefully decorated, and provide more seating at tables, away from the bar counters. But these days, the hotel keeper needs to be an expert in other areas besides the bar. Food and restaurant services are becoming more popular, and our managed hotels have been concentrating in this area. The restaurants and bistros in Tooth hotels have become a focal point for evening and lunchtime crowds who often return to enjoy the quality and range of food at a moderate price. The entertainment scene, always an indicator of quickly changing tastes. The hotel keeper chooses the type of entertainment from all the different styles to cater for varying tastes and age groups. Live entertainment has created the excitement and flair that makes people happy in a Tooth hotel. The hotel bottle shops and drive-ins have been under heavy competition from licensed supermarkets and specialty liquor stores. The hotel keeper needs to be an expert merchandiser of packaged liquor to beat this competition. The well-stocked drive-in and bottle shop conveniently serve the hotel customer for the family picnic or entertaining at home. After a long journey, travellers need an inexpensive yet comfortable home away from home. Tooth & Company have established the country-style chain of hotels to cater for the travelling public. The hotel keeper in the country has always provided a sound, reliable bed and hearty breakfast for the budget-conscious traveller. Travellers cover a lot of territory, and so do Tooth's hotels. All these hotel services will change in time, but the company and the hotel keeper working in unison can ensure that the consumer's ever-widening tastes are being met and anticipated.
The partnership between lessee and lessor is vital to ensuring an improvement in turnover and profits for everyone. Over the last few years, Tooth Hotels Division have been pursuing a policy of fostering that relationship. Through its service division, the company has been providing free of charge assistance to hotel keepers in such areas as refrigeration, housekeeping, food services and entertainment. Together with this, we have been conducting the Club 50 program, recognising and rewarding the efforts of good hotel keepers. Communications both between the company and hotel keepers have also been improved with a greater number of face-to-face meetings and by the publication of a quarterly magazine called The Horse's Mouth. We believe it is most important that policy changes be communicated quickly to lessees and everybody else that participates in the industry. We also recognise the desirability of Tooth playing its part in training our own staff and advising hotel keepers. To that end, we have opened a training centre where both existing methods of operation and new trends in the industry can be communicated. We believe that the future of Tooth Hotels is both challenging and exciting. We believe also that we are facing the realities of the difficulties of our industry, and we are going to endeavour to play a constructive part in its healthy growth. To do that, we are not going to control, as we have done in the past, a majority of hotels. We are going to do it by controlling a lesser number of hotels and making them of such a standard that the community will recognise how good they are. On a corporate level, during the past few years, the company has gone through a tremendous reassessment of its aims and objectives. We now have those firmly in place, and we are committed to providing goods and services to the public to consume in its leisure time. We are and will always continue to be in the foreseeable future in beer production and marketing. We are modernising our major plant at Broadway and already have operational a comparatively modern plant at Lismore. We first recognised the growing segments of the liquor industry by acquiring Penfolds wines, and we are continuing to assess all the segments of the market for opportunities so that we can offer a broad range to the public. Penfolds, which became part of the Tooth Group in 1976, is one of the world's greatest wine-producing companies. Its vineyards extend over many thousands of hectares. Its wineries have the most modern equipment for harvesting and winemaking, with a capacity to process tens of thousands of tonnes of grapes each year. Its cellars have storage space for millions of litres of wine, and its products have won acclaim over the years. On 1st January 1982, Penfolds acquired Kaiser Steel. This made Penfolds and Kaiser Steel combined the largest crushers of grapes in Australasia. These combined facilities have given the group the largest range of wines available in Australia. They include ports, rosés, reds, whites, sherries, sparkling wines, champagnes and brandy. There are 30 Penfolds and Kaiser Steel products in the top 200 sellers in the Australian marketplace, and this top 200 accounts for 80% of all wine cases sold. In August 1976, Tooth acquired Wright Heaton Limited, which operates in 4 divisions. The rural division has an intensive dairy, which is the second largest in Australia. It also has an intensive piggery, which each year delivers some 9,000 piglets from 500 sows. The hospitality division operates from a depot at Kingsgrove and services wholesale customers from Newcastle to the Great Dividing Range, to Moss Vale and to Wollongong, and naturally the Sydney metropolitan area. The hospitality division customers include hotels, clubs, restaurants, hospitals, nursing homes, airlines, cruise ships, jails and defence establishments. The wholesale division, which operates west of the Divide, from the Queensland border to the Victorian border, services wholesale customers through 10 warehouses and a fleet of 26 vans. The wholesale division, like the hospitality division, sells a full range of catering requisites. Hotel keepers, for example, are able to purchase frozen products, juices, small goods, confectionery, kitchenware and glassware, paper products and cleaning products. The Wright Heaton concept is to provide hotel keepers and other customers with a one-stop shopping facility, which is easy and pleasant to deal with and which provides a reliable in-stock service. Wright Heaton's health food division sells health products to both retail and wholesale customers. Vitamins, health foods, skin care and hair care products are some of the products available in over 68 Healthy Life retail stores throughout Australia and Southeast Asia. Top brands imported from mainly Northern America and the United Kingdom comprise 50% of the retail and wholesale product range. In mid-1982, Wright Heaton acquired PDS Rural Products Pty Limited, a long-established company engaged in the distribution of dairy products. It markets butter and honey under the Lowry label and is a significant distributor of cheese. It also is active in the exporting of Australian dairy products. Overall, we are in the business of managing our resources so that we can maintain a healthy profitability and ultimately realise an acceptable return to our shareholders. We view the future with optimism, recognising the contribution of the people who work for us and the Australian public whom we serve.